Oh, see, I'm going to turn that off.
What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the channel. Josh and Brandy Helm here with Texas Best Construction. We're going live on all the channels, all the platforms, as best as we can. So welcome in. We are going to, you guys make sure you hit the like button, share, send this over to somebody, let them know, hey, Josh and Brandy are live. We need y'all. Y'all are like our tribe.
I already got some comments over there. Y'all be nice.
Somebody said, first, I just want to say I'm sorry I have not responded to your emails. That's a good script.
You didn't respond or they didn't respond?
I don't know. Have you not responded to my email or did I not respond to yours? Let me know. Welcome back to the channel on all platforms.
We're trying to get us some plans, it looks like.
We are excited to be back at home.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We have been like traveling and doing a lot of things. We've been in Las Vegas and got home for like 3 days and went straight out to go to
Iowa,
Des Moines, Iowa. So we're ecstatic to be back home, even though it doesn't feel like we've been home yet because our kids are on spring break. We went out over the weekend and spent some time with them at the lake and took a couple more days to do that. And I told Brandy, I was like, we're going to have to make this short because I got to get back to work.
I got stuff to do.
I was out all day today. I barely made it home because I was up north at one of our projects over in Whitesboro, and we were doing our best to get some updates going on over there and just take a look at that project. A lot of good things going on the black gold Barndominium. So let's look at some of the comments here. Whoa. What happened? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, this is the iPad I'm using tonight because we had threats of no internet again, guys. This has been constant battle we've been having to deal with, but so I decided I was going to use my iPad and make sure that we had internet access. So, what in Barnations? What? What in Barnations? That's what he said. What in Barnation? I don't know what you're saying, buddy. Let me make sure I can get my comments going here. Let's, so we got a couple things we want to talk about tonight. This is going to be, again, we're always trying to bring you guys a little bit of value whenever we do these lives. So tonight we're talking about 7 reasons barndominium homes are or can be cost effective, because just because you're building a barndominium doesn't mean it's necessarily cost effective, because you could definitely go another route.
Sure, you could add extreme to anything you build.
Right. But here, finishing up before we go into that, we'll just say, hey, we were at the NFBA this past week, where it was all about post frame construction, which is not predominantly what we build. And but we're just kind of taking it all in and trying to see, hey, the community that was there, and we got a chance to meet a lot of folks that we knew already kind of via social media. There was some different folks there, but of course RR Buildings, Kyle was there. We met him back in Vegas as well. So I feel like we saw him in a couple different spots. But our good friends Stacy, Lynn, and Oliver Bell with the Barndominium Company, who are really good friends of ours from Texas. We were there with them, got to hang out a little bit, and just it was a good meeting place as well to talk about some of the collaborations that we're looking forward to coming up. And then, which Stacy's one of the ones that's kind of told me about this this event. Said it was pretty cool. And it's a little bit different because it's centered around the Barndominium. So that's something that we hadn't seen in our territory.
No, it was nice to go and have other people know what that is and have a different take on it and people you could learn from.
Jason says, I wish you would up your range a little more for North Texas. So Jason, I mean, I don't know how much more North Texas I can get. Today I was all the way to the Red River.
Yeah.
So how much more north can I go?
But he said that was a shell only, right?
Yeah, it was a good ways. But this one is a turnkey, but it was something that was already in. So anyhow, we live in the Red Oak, Texas area. That's one of the questions. We do not build in Florida. Jason needs a turnkey. Of course you do. Of course you do. But hey, I would say no matter what it is, just still submit it to us. It's something we always weigh out each build, and we try to see, hey, is this something that would be make sense for us to do a turnkey on? So we're not like completely opposed against it. Somebody said, oh, there we are. Josh Nolan, welcome in.
Hey, Josh.
Mr. Burrows. Diversify with post frame. Yes, sir. Took me a minute to read that.
Hashtag.
I was trying to read it. Yeah, and so that's kind of what's about. We were up there, and we got a chance to meet with our good friends, Josh Nolan, as well as the Burrows post frame system up there, which is really cool. And Stacy is doing a big collaboration with those guys, and we've been kind of gleaning in and trying to see, hey, what's going on here, and seeing what's happening. So you never know, right? Sam Rayburn.
I don't know what that is.
I feel like that's a toll road, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Let's
So
see here. Let me just look it up.
So are you guys coming north again? You said you didn't do any more. So somebody said, hi guys, coming from north again. You said you didn't do any more. So is Sherman too far? I love your work. You guys are the best. Thank you, Laura. Like I said, we are working there right now, actually a little bit further than there. So it really just depends on what the project is. So I would definitely still, if you're within the 100-mile radius and right there on the border of that, you need to submit your builds to us for options. Like, we're not completely closed, even though if you just shoot an email with your plans, all those kind of things. Also use the Barndominium calculator that's on our link tree, which we try to keep listed up here. So thank you, Laura, for the question.
Yeah, Sam Rayburn is a little too far. I think it's almost 180, 200 miles away. Okay,
Lake Sam Rayburn. Okay. Well, hey, it's on the lake, then you might get me over there.
I don't know. Does your lake have crappies?
Yeah, you got a lot of crappie on that lake, because that's a big drawing card for me.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so let's give them the value, and then we'll start answering some questions.
Okay.
We appreciate you guys joining in with us, and our goal here is to hang out with you, but at the same time, for some of the new folks that are coming in that might not know who we are, we want to give y'all something. We want to give y'all something that is advantageous for the Barndominium. So,
Barnell Palmer. They got jokes.
A lot of jokes on TikTok about enjoying the show with a Barnell Palmer. I love it. I love it. We're always spinning words with Barndo too, so that's what it's about. We got shirts actually in our shop that say "What a Barndo" instead of Whataburger. It's kind of hinting on that.
I'm the cheesy one of the group.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the humble one. See, I got the sign right above my head. It says humble.
Yeah, I say serve yourself.
Brandy tells me to take care of your own self, pretty much.
Do your own laundry. Just kidding.
So what are 7 reasons? Are y'all ready for this? I mean, this is going to be mind-blowing here.
Yeah.
What are 7 reasons that barndominiums are cost effective?
All right. Number one on the
Do
list.
these have to be in order? I mean,
I don't guess so.
let's start from the bottom. Let's go from the bottom.
Okay.
Number 1, which is number 7, is the DIY potential for shell only option.
Right. So
this a year or two ago, you wouldn't have caught me saying this just because we do a lot of turnkey builds, but we are doing shell onlys now, and it's hard to not admit it, but that is one of the advantages. A lot of people do want to do some things themselves. So with the shell only option, DIY is a potential for you to save money when it comes to cost effectiveness. This is not something really that exists, I don't think, in most cases for conventional home building. Like no real home builder is going to come in and say, okay, we'll take
start
it to
you finish it.
we'll
Yeah.
take it up to a point and then let you go. That's not really the way it works. So I think that's something that's unique about our current setup whenever we're doing shell onlys.
Right. The only kind of catch on that is if you've got a lender, they may have restrictions on that, but
Well, there's workarounds on that.
Yeah,
and a lot
there's
of
a
them
way
are,
to
a lot of
get
them are
around it.
working on that.
And I like that, you could, if you don't have a lender, you could kind of take your time and pay as you go. We know some people that have done that.
Jim, the Barndo King from Permanent Post Systems. Thanks, Jim. Hey, yeah, I met Jim there. Hey, I enjoyed visiting with you as well. Sorry I missed you as I was leaving out, but we had to get on out. So we appreciate you joining in. And I want to talk to you more. I want to look more at your product. I think that was pretty cool. Permanent Post Systems. You guys check them out on YouTube. Okay.
All right.
Number 2. What's a cost-effective? Are we done talking about shell onlys?
I don't know. Are you done?
I guess so.
Well, it reduces the labor cost pretty much on that. You can do a lot of things yourself, have kind of friends if you've got different people in the
If you're willing to put in,
different trades.
if you're willing to put in sweat equity, you can definitely save some money. It doesn't mean it's not costing you the time, which is worth money.
Sure.
So we all know that, right? So make sure you guys are sharing this live. That helps keep the viewers active as well. So that really helps us whenever you can do that. And also, if you're on TikTok, we need you to hit that thumbs up. I don't know what it is. The like button, I guess, is what it is. TikTok's telling me to tell y'all that.
So bossy.
And then on YouTube, you guys, keep commenting. Facebook, all of you guys on Instagram. We got some questions going on over there. So number 2, we're going to talk about is its unique style. So what does that mean? What is your thought on this?
Well, it's different than your cookie cutter house, really. I mean, you're not going to go in and see numerous of the same ones built. I mean, they're all custom. You can change the way they look. But there's not, you drive in a neighborhood and see, your house duplicated 5 times just driving down the street. They're really different. And I think a lot of people that's an attraction to them, is they really appreciate that it's just different. It's just unique. So.
And that is a cost that's a cost for resale, right?
For resale, for high resale, just because it's different. So you're not, you can look for houses for sale that are, all kinds of different. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Well, like if you're looking for a home that's for sale, a barndominium is going to stand out to you. You're going to remember it, to me, above, 7 other houses that all kind of look the same. It's just going to have a different feel to it.
Obviously,
and the openness,
that's the trend, right? It's unique. It's something different, and it is been hot for a long time. My parents built a barndominium in 1997, and it is one of the most beautiful builds. Actually, it's on our YouTube channel. It's called the 10,000 square foot barndominium. So that was built in 1997. That's how long this has been going on. I don't think the barndominium in itself is going anywhere. So when it comes to, now I say that But when it comes to stewardship and build practices and these kind of things, because there's so many of them, I feel like sometimes things could be in jeopardy if people are not building with a standard, people are not building with best practices. It could become a bad mar against the whole idea. And so that's where we feel a certain stewardship on our part to continue to give best practices, to continue to promote these things so that this
built to
trend stays alive. And it's not just the trend, but these homes are built, like you said, to last.
Yeah.
So the unique style is definitely a big part of it. That's why so many people are attracted to it. They're attracted to the idea. I call it Barndominium or bust. Once you build it, once you're in a Barndominium category, it's like you're one of the cool kids, right? That's kind of what
Yeah.
I want to be a cool kid too. I want to be a
One
cool
day.
kid. I mean, this is our Barndominium here, but it hosts a place for our in-laws, and it hosts a place for our office. But we don't currently get to live in one because we had this place for sale, and we were going to build our own Barndominium. We just the market changed right at the last minute, and our contract fell through, so we decided to pull it off the market.
Right. All right. So number 3, or you want to answer a question? Or you want to go to number 3?
We're going to come back to some of these questions here in a minute. Some good questions coming up. So,
Okay. So number 3, it's the multifunctional use. They can be designed to incorporate living spaces, workshops, garages, storage areas, eliminating the need for separate buildings. So you can accommodate all the storage that you might need. You're not going to have to pay extra, to do a self-storage or whatever.
that is a big one, I think, because a lot of people like have storage units.
Yeah, and they pay a long time on stuff that they don't ever.
Yeah, and we've got a nice big shop here too, but we have a storage unit still.
Well, that's because we thought we were moving, and
Yeah, when we
Just
thought
never
we were
moved out of it.
moving, we were cleaning some stuff out, but
Yeah.
that is a big deal because people that are moving into barndominiums, they're usually trying to consolidate. They are interested in downsizing. So the multifunctional use is they need a place to put all their stuff. They're kind of
They may have a RV or a boat that they need to store too.
right
And they can park those
in
inside.
the wintertime. Yeah, whenever you need to pull it off the lake and make sure nothing goes wrong with the boat.
No freezes.
So those are big reasons. The multifunction.
Some people,
Also, the multifunction is you don't have to rent a space for a big party.
right. I love it. It's like an event center.
Yeah.
We've had numerous parties here, and I just love it because it's just a wide open space. I can get tons
And
of tables and chairs.
You
and
know how
people.
much I love having
He
events.
loves-
I tell you what, sometimes
He
I
loves
just
storing all my tables for these events.
sometimes I get bored. I'm like, hey, if you and her good friend Charmaine, I'm like, if you guys could really just put together an event where we could pull some plastic tables out, I mean, that is what I'm looking for.
We've had birthday parties here.
Somebody said,
Aren't you glad you
entry
didn't
says, Barn't you glad you didn't buy a boat?
had all kinds of.
There was a season where I was saying that, but I'm glad I got one right now.
But we've had parties in here. We've had even our church has borrowed it for a few occasions, and then we office out of it. So
And we do lives.
I don't have to rent.
I mean, we have a place to do lives.
Yeah,
Although there's a little more junk behind me since last time I was here,
I didn't do it.
thanks to
I wasn't here.
Mr. Flores.
But I mean, we would have to. Otherwise, we would have to be renting a place for our office, and right now it's here. So it's basically kind of a home office. It's not in our actual home, but if you show up over here, you're gonna.
Yeah.
But that's just a cost saver. It's
Let me
another
s-
way that it's.
Let me say this too, like we've had family Christmas we've had family Christmases in here,
Thanksgiving.
anniversary parties in here, birthday parties in here, graduations.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, did we do graduation here?
Yeah, Sydney's.
We did hers here.
One of them.
All kinds of different events that we've had here. They've had youth events, like what you said. We've had, even when the kids were a little bit smaller, we put a bounce house in our shop.
Yeah, it was great. And a trampoline.
We put a trampoline in the shop. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
It is great.
You could put a basketball goal in the shop, literally.
Climate controlled when it's really
Yeah.
cold outside or whatever.
We built the trampoline in the shop during Christmas time because we were giving them the trampoline for Christmas.
We're Santa's helpers.
Mike, that's right. I like that, sir.
What's that?
Mike said, invest in a true barndominium you can enjoy and not a carport or storage building that is converted.
Yeah.
So Mike and Rose, thank you guys for that. That's a great point. And that is a big part of our message, right? Like we're always telling people, like if you're going to do it right. Make sure you have a place that you can enjoy, you're not worried about, right?
Yes. And one side note, put a half bath in your shop.
That's right. Yeah, Mike did that. Mike did that.
That would be one of my major
We did that
pieces
too.
of
Look,
advice.
we added a half bath off of our shop. I did that this past year when I was adding on to our to our building. Another time, this is the third time I've added onto it for additional storage.
Yeah.
Because I had to move the business out of my shop so I could have a shop.
So we could have birthday parties in here again.
Yeah. So, anyways.
So yeah, we added that bathroom on there. So it just makes it multi-purpose. You can use it for all kinds of things.
So the multifunction is definitely a big part of it.
Right. Then we've got flexible design.
Flexible design.
So all the floor plans are really pretty open. You're not bound to.
And this does not mean that like while you're doing your design that you do
Change it.
really good stretches. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. Like to be flexible.
Oh God. I think you're tired.
So, I mean, I'm really not that flexible. So, but the barndominiums give you flexible design because why? Why do the barndominiums give you flexible design?
Because you don't
I want to
have,
see if you know the answer.
okay, because you don't have any load-bearing walls.
Okay.
So you are free to move about the barn door. No, you can, design however the floor plan you want in there without it being structural. You can kind of fill in all those spaces. What are you looking at?
I'm just listening.
Okay, go ahead.
So I agree with you that is it, but largely it's because of our free spans. So we are using a post system, which is steel. Ours is mostly steel, and this is the same in post frame, but you're free spanning across. So basically your whole design is not, it's basically you're building a roof system over top of an open area, meaning that you could literally lay out your design any way you wanted. So it's not a big deal to move a door, to do things to your design when it comes to the living quarters.
I really like not having to operate around like a column a random column in the middle of your dining room or whatever.
Right.
I like not having all that.
Yeah, because if you've ever done remodeling like what we've done, how many times have I gone in and, I mean, we don't do this anymore, but I would go in, I would be like, okay, we need to go up in the attic, see if that's a load-bearing wall because we ain't going to be able to move or open this up.
Yeah. Because
Well,
the first thing people want to do is tear down walls.
Yeah, they want to, it's like you buy the house, it's
well,
like,
you
well, how
can't.
can we change this to make it the way we want it?
Yeah.
And so they want to push a wall over or change this, take this out. And, which mostly the barndominiums we're building have open concept. They're already open, right? So for the most part.
Yeah, and one thing I like too is, whenever you finish out a traditional house, like a lot of people like might enclose their garage or something like that, you can pretty much tell that that's what's been done, but you can continue to add on to these buildings and it looks like it was that way from the start. Like you've added on numerous times to this one and you can't tell. And you could
I
add
want
on.
to say one of our clients, Laura, is on. Hello from Tyler, Texas. Looking forward to our build. That's right, Laura. You guys are actually coming up next.
We're waiting on a
Tell Michael
soil.
to call me because I need to talk to you guys about getting over there, and I might need y'all to make a trip. Anyways, looking forward to y'all's project as well. It's coming up. So I want to answer another question here I saw. Hunter says he's 19, wants to buy land and build a first barndominium, and he's asking how much he should expect to spend. But he says he's in South Georgia, if that makes a difference. I don't really know in South Georgia. Around here, if you're doing turnkey, it's actually ends up being around $200 a square foot now. You can do shell only. It's closer to $100 can get you the structure, including the engineered foundation, all your exterior shell and those kind of things. So that's kind of like what it used to cost for turnkey, but the pricing and all that, the way it is a lot more just due to the last few years of impact on inflation and everything, the way it's gone. Now, we've saw some correction in pricing, but it hasn't impacted cost because we've got steel and labor's gone up where lumber kind of adjusted, and then we got fuel, all these kind of things. But we are looking at pricing usually at the beginning of the year and sometimes halfway through the year. So that's something that we do continually look at, but we've already looked at it this year to evaluate kind of where we're at. So, Travis, where can I get a barndominium in Florida? I'm sorry, I do not know, but if you go to one of the barndominium sites, you can go to Building Barndominiums. That's actually a group page on Facebook if you want. Okay.
Yeah, you can ask on there, and there'll be people from that area that'll let you know.
All right, what else we got?
Less expensive materials is another way to save on cost.
I'm sorry, less expensive materials. Okay. Some of you guys may be saying, what are you talking about, less expensive materials? Well, because it kind of takes me back to think about this too. The only really less money you're spending on materials, for me, really is probably on the exterior panels. If you look at the cost of a panel versus doing regular siding that you have to paint, which it means maintenance over the long run. Doing these panels really helps you get that coverage, and it's way more cost effective. I mean, it's not anything anywhere comparable to what it costs to run a panel like that as opposed to doing any of the other things like brick, stone, stucco, EIFS.
It goes up quick, the labor's quick.
Siding, all of these things cost so much more money. So those are things that, like I said, so the trade-off, the money you're saving there, you're actually putting into your efficiencies going for us, doing 2x6 studded walls, having all the extra insulation that we're putting, doing some of these things to help, make sure you get granite countertops in your kitchens and, full tile in your showers. Those are the kind of things we take the money we're saving, we put it into those finishes. Now, a DIYer may be able to use that way to their advantage and save some money. So that's the reason why I say less expensive materials is for the panel siding that we use on the sides. And let me say this about that. I do recommend a 26 gauge panel just for the durability, the strength that it has. Now, I'm not saying for siding you couldn't do something a little bit less, but if you go to a lesser gauge, sometimes it changes the profile a little bit. So you're not getting the full profile. We use all 26 gauge on our walls as well as our soffits, as well as our roof and trim materials. All of that is all the same thickness.
Alrighty. Do you want to go to the next?
We got somebody from Missouri. Katie, thank you. We love the Wills Point house floor plan and actually in the process of building. Awesome. That's cool. In Missouri. Hey, send us pictures, Katie. We want to see all this. Shoot us a message on TikTok look forward to seeing that. Amanda asked a
So
question.
I have a question on Instagram. I need to make sure I don't
Okay,
miss.
go ahead.
It says they know we've done financing videos, but they want to know more about doing a VA construction loan. If we have any contacts. So if you'll look on our link tree, we have, and then also our website, we have a pre-planning
Pre-planning strategy for building a barndominium.
a PDF. So for your land,
This link that's on the screen, if you're on this, it's on here, it's our link in the bio. On here, it's the link that's on the screen, linktree.com/Texas Best Construction. That takes you straight to our Barndominium calculator. It takes you to this pre-planning strategy, which is a free download where you can obtain a whole list of questions you can ask your builder.
it's got lenders. It's
got lenders in our area
plans. Yeah.
and lenders that work outside of our area.
Yeah. So Frank, if you are in our area, Cowboy Bank can definitely help you out. They've done a few of our VA loans. So you'll just have to look on there for
yeah,
that
Frank,
number.
if you're in our area, then you can contact the office, and Sydney will definitely make sure you have those contacts if you can't find them through the links. So,
And guys, that if you're not in our area, on our, in our build area, I've got somebody asking about California. I know we had somebody ask about Florida. We're looking into kind of trying to make a little bit more of not a list, but make some contacts and
Network.
and knowing who is doing what where, but we just don't have that right now. But you're more than welcome to join our Facebook page, Building Barndominiums. There's how many people on there now? Like 300,
almost 400,000 people
400,000
on the group page on.
so that's all people that you can kind of pull from. So you can say, hey guys, I'm in this area. Who are you using to build your barndos? And you'll get some people respond to you and let you know who to use, who not to use. It's a great resource for, actual recommendations versus just, naming somebody that I don't really know.
Don Young, or Dan, I'm sorry if my vision is not that great here, says, where's a good place to get a simple floor plan? I want a simple apartment and small shop. Well, you could go to that link and download that free PDF file as well. We've got a couple of designers on there that you could actually work with if you're interested in going through that route. So linktree.com/Texas Best Construction. Mark Martinez, I'm going out of order here. Wish we would have built one instead of remodeling. I understand, Mark. I had to remodel my house too. It's a beat down. Yeah. Do you build in Fayette County, Texas? Brandy, I don't know about that one.
I don't think so, but I can look.
Laura is asking, Laura Folan, does a dark color paneling versus a white make a difference with the heat weather-wise? Laura, I just did a video earlier today, which will be coming out on YouTube, talking about this. I have not seen any significant differences when it comes to that, especially when you're spray foaming, you're doing all these kind of things on the other side. I always encourage everybody to choose a color that is going to be something you're happy with. Because you think about most roofing is asphalt. It's like really, really hot.
Yeah.
And so the backside of our panels are white. And here I sprayed all mine black on the inside with the spray foam. And I don't experience any of that, and we've got we do have some air conditioning inside our shop, but that's something we did a couple of years back. So hopefully that helps. All right, what's next?
Okay, so
We're down to number, is this number 6?
yeah.
Durability.
Durability. So I know that's definitely one thing that is a big pro for a lot of our customers is not having a lot of maintenance and upkeep later on.
So maintenance and durability, or just durability?
well, that's durability, but I'm just saying, like,
I'm giving
not
them a
having
hard
to.
time because they put this together, so I'm helping.
Yeah, you're helping.
Maintenance and durability or durability. The steel materials used is typically resistant to weather, which is the panels that we're talking about, pests, and wear and tear, leading to lower maintenance cost over time. So that's obviously the strength of the structure itself, especially with the steel and all the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Our foundations, the way that we build, we put a lot of concrete in our foundations here in Texas. It's a lot. Let me just say that.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see how they do it up north. It's totally different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and here's the thing: the advantages are different up north or in some of these areas than it is here, because it's definitely not an advantage
Yeah.
for saving money on concrete. For us, it's not, because we put a lot of concrete in the ground. Because of our expansive clay soils and all the stuff that we're dealing with, we use a lot of concrete. So I want to say, you know, we have grade beams pretty much every 8 to 10 foot on a hatch pattern, and it looks like a waffle whenever we're building our slabs. But when we pour all that concrete, it's quite a bit. So, and that's in Texas, but it's a little bit different. We have different frost lines, and that was a cool thing. You know, I got to meet up with Mr. Postframe up there, and we're trying to get them down here. So that's what we're talking about, is a good chance to visit with them on Texas soil. They were only 30, 40 minutes away. They only live 30, 40 minutes away from this conference, but it was too late. We had to go. We were on a short, tight schedule. I didn't even know those guys lived there.
We got questions coming from every direction over here.
Okay, let's answer a couple more questions, because we got only one more to cover on our other deal.
So Jody's asking on Instagram, do you have a preference for concrete floors or engineered floors / tile? We are concerned about mold.
As in like stained concrete? Is that what we're talking about?
I assume that's what she's talking about.
Oh, engineered floor tile.
Floors or tile.
Oh, like wood. Okay.
Well, I think some people have. I've seen on.
Well, Jody, here's the deal. So, as far as preference, like we actually use a membrane plastic, like a 6 mil poly, that we use underneath our slabs before we pour the slabs. That's not only is that to help moisture from coming back up, but it's also to help with the drying process, so the concrete will not lose its moisture. So there's a couple of fold reasons why we do that. But one thing you're not going to see is a lot of moisture coming up.
Yeah.
Coming up.
That's what I was going to say. Some of those pages, a lot of people are having issues with moisture coming up through their slab, and that's not a good thing. I think that's maybe her concern.
Well, if you're having those issues, I would recommend a good Stego wrap, or like I said, a 6 mil poly, like what we're using, something to help create a block or a barrier. Now, in some of these areas, they don't have near as much concrete either, so that might be some of the cases. But depending on your area, whatever the requirements are, the codes in your city, from your municipal inspectors and all these kind of things.
We got somebody asking if we build in Fort Worth. We absolutely build in Fort Worth. Definitely can help you. We have a 60-mile turnkey radius and up to 100 for shell option. And if we don't build in your area, go join the Building Barndominium's Facebook group. Somebody's asking where that was again. So you can ask people on there about their experiences with their builds and who can help them.
Amanda Smith says, what about folks that want to go big or go home? What's the biggest barn door y'all can do? I promise you, I can build a barndominium bigger than people may want to pay. So that we'll do it as big as somebody wants to go. We've been bidding some projects that have over 20,000 square feet under roof. We've got a project right now that is 8,800 square foot under roof with house, and we have a huge 3,200 square foot barn. So that's what 12,000 square feet under roof. So, and it's going to be high end. That one's got the basement. That's the black gold Barndominium that we're building over there. Most of the times people are going, 2,000, 3,000 square foot. We have some that are 4,000 square foot. You guys might have seen our North Lake Barndominium. Now that one had big porches and stuff too. It was just 4,000 square foot of living on our North Lake build. Jeanette says the only thing she suggests is to put in a farm faucet.
Okay.
All right, that's a good suggestion. So don't build a barndominium without a farm faucet.
And a bathroom in the shop.
And a bathroom in the shop. Somebody says, thoughts on pipe posts and I-beam builds you see on YouTube opposed to red iron kits? Well, I mean, we build with I-beams, so that's what we build. Red iron kits, I'm not necessarily opposed to a kit. I feel like if I was to try to go buy a kit, that it's not going to be packaged for the way that I build. So I don't tend to go to kits because a lot of, on the steel side especially, the engineering they're not catering to a hybrid style barndominium like I built. So I don't want to pay extra money. You're welcome, Amanda. I don't want to pay extra money for materials that I might not be using, or for the engineering of those materials that I might not be using. So now, if we could get everybody to collaborate together here, we could get on the steel side, we could get all this worked out where we could, provide the hybrid red iron kit, which would work well for some designs. So that's one of the things that, I'm interested in doing as well. Hopefully that answers your question. Eric, we do not use zip under the roof unless it's spec'd to do that in the current state of things. I don't have a problem with it. I actually would love to do it. It just means more framing and a little bit more money, obviously, for the extra zip.
There was some questions you missed up there. I think you might want to go back and address.
Okay. I'll look over.
Okay. And then for
we got
goodness,
cars speeding by here.
Holy
This is a
cow.
drag strip out here tonight.
I guess so.
This guy's been going up and down the road. It's just ridiculous.
Calling my friends.
Somebody said, what was the website to look at plans? Daniel said.
Well, we've got listed on our website. We have a PDF, a free PDF that you can download in the resource section, and that's got a couple of different options for you.
If you have a build that we've built, then you can contact the one of the designers there, and they are already working probably on it. I can guarantee you, Wills Point, especially Sadler, all these builds are already there. If you contact Alan with Ellis County Reprographics, so that's on the sheet. And
then Stacy Lynn, she can do a really great job for you guys with the Barndominium Company. They can do a full 3D walkthrough. You can see inside and out what your home would look like if you want to use them.
We're missing stuff everywhere.
I know. I'm sorry.
What is the average cost per square foot for turnkey? A roundabout. It's really not an average, but it's a roundabout based on typical figures. Is around $200 per square foot for living. It's around $100 or so by the time you're doing the shell. So hopefully that helps you there. There you go. Mr. Be Happy, welcome. It's good to see you on here tonight. He said that your kits are going to have tapered beams. That's a good point. I I promise I don't. I promise I don't live by the NASCAR drag strip, but this guy, somebody needs to call the police
About
out
to
here.
do a little
This
phone
is
call.
ridiculous. I don't know if y'all can hear that. But anyways,
Can I call?
the kits are going to be tapered. They're going to have a tapered beam, so it's going to kind of be an obstruction into your build. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Why we cater to doing weld ups on our builds primarily is because of the using the weld up gives us the opportunity to control what we're using and where. And a lot of this stuff is predictable, right, Mr. Be Happy? You can attest to that. It's all predictable. There's common size beams that you're using in most cases. And, you're going 20 to 25 foot spacing on your I-beams when it comes to spacing across, using typical size I-beams, depending on how far you're going to go, whether it's 12-inch I-beams, 8-inch, 10-inch, or 16-inch. It really just depends. So those are some of the things that you're determining. The last thing on the reasons,
Which is probably the number one thing.
well, it's definitely the number one thing for me. That's why I didn't want to do it first.
I want to save the best for last.
Is
Okay.
energy efficiency, and that's one of the biggest cost savings for building a barndominium.
For
I feel
longevity,
like.
for
And
sure.
Let me say this about barndominiums. Now barndominiums, they do get battered a lot when it comes to people who don't know nothing about it, people that don't want to entertain it, even people that may feel pressured to build a barndominium. They're going to get battered a little bit because they don't want to get into that mode to build a barndominium. Why? Because it upsets their apple cart, upsets their normal routine. They don't want to deal with it, right? Well, I got news for you. The barndominium definitely is an easier way to achieve better energy efficiency because you have a more predictable environment when it comes to the shape and the build of the home. You don't have a lot of nooks and crevices. So those are big reasons why we can obtain better energy efficiencies. The way that we build it, we're doing for air tightness. We're creating an envelope all around the build. And I mean, let me just say this, like you can build a barndominium and be nearing, I don't know how much you guys may be in the know about, but for green building standards, even for passive home ratings, is like a 0.6, and we can build our standard build and be at like a 1.03 on ACH, which is basically air changes per hour for an open blower door test. Well, that's just us doing what we standardized do.
On every job.
That is not us going and doing things that are way out of the norm. So I'm just saying, like, people are paying a lot of money to get passive home ratings, and we can do this at ease with a barndominium. So energy efficiency, I feel like we have a better chance of getting better energy ratings when it comes to the barndominium all day long.
All right. I've got a question over here on TikTok. Not TikTok. You got TikTok. I've got Instagram. Any requirements for the land we purchase? Anything to look out for? Potential red flags or will prevent a project being built? I would say one is know the area in which you're building. Make sure that if there's any kind of permitting, that they're going to allow you to do what you want to do there. Because obviously if you build it with the intent of building a barn and then they don't let you, that's going to stink. Also, if you have to provide a water source like a well, know if you're going to have to get into that because that could be really costly.
Right.
Or if you're building on the side of a cliff, I mean, you're going to have to build that up.
Yeah, so those are things that we look at whenever we go out to look on site or meet out on site is we're looking at the land to see, hey, is this a buildable lot? Now, what makes it buildable? Mainly, like I said, if you're on the side of a cliff, you're going to have more challenges,
Obstacles to.
and it's going to cost some money. Now, you can build anywhere, right? You can make anything happen with money. But the key is, obviously, if you don't have a good flat surface or a place to start that's not in a hole and that's not on a very bad slope, because if you're building on a real bad slope, it means you got to build up on the other side, adding a lot of expense to your costs already. Here's a question. Should I put plywood on roof and outside walls before metal? Well, I would recommend, especially on your walls, around your windows and doors, around your living quarters, at a minimum, use plywood and good flashing methods. Your roof, you don't have as many penetrations. This is why we, as far as a practical standard, we made it just a metal roof. But we don't have all the penetrations we do when you're talking about doors and windows and, you know, all these kind of things. So the doors and the windows are the main reasons why when you get straight line wind and rain, you don't want to just be dealing with metal building flashing to protect your home. Now, I don't care how good of a, flashing guy you got. It just, I wouldn't do it. I would not do it like that. So you definitely need to use something. If you don't want to use zip, which if you think about it like this, to use, let's say you're using OSB and you're using Tyvek, right? What you go get at the store. Let's say you're saving $15 a sheet for not using zip. Well, at least do the OSB. Your average home, like where we build, you can see in the picture behind us, maybe. I don't know if you guys see that. But most of the zip, you will have anywhere from 60 to 100 sheets of zip. So if it's $15 more, that means you're spending anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 more for zip. The reason why we like it is because it's got that resin in it. It's protected. Also, it saves time for the Tyvek and all that stuff that you'd have to put down. My guys are so used to it now that if I was to try to get them to go back and do something different, they'd want to charge me extra money to do it because it's going to add extra steps that they don't have to do. So, to me, the money is not. I would much rather have zip than to save $1,000. So that's my point. Now, when it was $70, $80 a sheet, I get it. People got to do something different. But it's not that now. It's more in the $30 range. So some of that's been corrected. But it's not back down to $15 or $13 a sheet because that's what it used to be.
I've got somebody asking, and I thought this was an interesting question. What are your top 2 favorite builds so far?
Top 2 favorite builds. Wow, I don't even know that I can answer that.
I know it's kind of hard because there's definitely lots of things I like about a lot of them. So
there's so many things that go into a build, so it's not really a favorite for me. I think I could tell you top things I like about each build.
Yeah.
Which is why we do the tour videos, because there's always something that you like better.
You're like, ooh, I really like the way they did this on this house, but I really like the view on this one. Well, the other one's,
I think I can find an appreciation for any Barndominium out there, just because I like it. But I don't know about top favorites. When it comes to high end finishes, I think it gets into I probably lean on the Lucas build and the Hilltops, these kind of builds.
I like the Italy one. That's one of my
Italy.
favorites.
All of these builds really, when it comes to like exterior finishes, I like the Rio Vista.
Yeah.
I like the because it was just like so perfect, you know. A lot of the when it comes to layout and stuff like that, a lot of those things that has it all. I like the Files Valley, the Maypearl Barndominium has a lot of industrial.
The fan favorite is probably Sadler. If I had to,
Oh well,
when I was
Sadler. See, I forgot about
so
that one.
whenever I was answering the phones, I had so many people. They always want to talk about the Sadler one.
There's just been so many. I mean, we really like all of them. I mean, sure, you know, you have your certain ones that you may like less, but we're really proud of all the jobs and the work that we build, and like we keep pictures of the stuff playing on the back in our shop.
And I do something I started for Josh one year for Christmas was I started doing mixed tiles.
They don't know what that is.
Which is like it's just a square, like a square black framed picture of each of our barndominiums with the name under it. And so we have a whole wall of.
Although we're missing about 20 of them right now.
That is not my fault.
Yeah. So
I'm waiting for final pictures from someone so that I can order those. And then we've basically got a whole wall, and we actually combined them all so that we can make more room because we ran out of wall space.
Dennis, okay, let me just start where I'm at because I'm losing stuff.
Oh, here's a window leak.
Dennis says, what are y'all's thoughts on continuous roofing? Definitely prefer to do a continuous roof when you can. On most of our gable roofs, they are all continuous. Like I've got a continuous roof on our single slope build we're doing out in Cleburne. Is it Cleburne? Or Joshua? We're doing in Joshua right now that is 39-foot long roof panels. So that's how much
as long as our trailer.
that's how much I like continuous roofing. So I think you can do it the other way. You just got to have a good overlap if you have to, because some of them are just too long.
I had somebody ask. Oh, sorry.
Gene says, hey guys, is there a standard size for fireplaces, and what is the difference in price between wood and gas? Gene, those are specifics I'm not going to have, buddy, for you right now. But standard sizes can be anywhere from 30 inch to 42 inches. So hopefully that helps on that.
We've got somebody on Instagram asking about window leaks on barndos. Is that something that's been resolved, or was it just a bad cruise? You did a whole video. Is there a video for that where you talked about how we flash our windows? You did, didn't you?
Well, we did. I mean, we're going to do better. We're actually going to do better. We're going to show you guys some more flashing details with windows as we can catch them coming up, because we're going to make better efforts to give you guys a lot more best practices when it comes to building, especially our steel frame barndominiums, right, and why we do what we do and why we would recommend not doing what some of these other people do. So we're going to do a better job. But yes, I do have a video. I believe it's called, it was one of our projects for the King's Barndominium. We did an update over there talking about best practices, and on the picture it says, "Why do my windows leak?" So we're trying to get you guys to look at all that.
We got people from California and Tennessee.
Somebody says, "What do you think about foam insulation?" Well, we think a lot about it. We use it a lot. I think it's great for getting a thermal break and making sure, especially against the steel, we use close cell everywhere you have steel. And
in certain areas, because if your climate's not right when you are installing it, it can be an issue, I think.
Okay.
All right. I think I've gotten all the ones off of here. Got any over there that we're missing?
Bernie says, speaking of energy efficiency, can you build it like a winter home living in Texas, Central Texas? Why? Because Texas may get hit with that crazy Arctic winter again. That's right.
We didn't have any trouble with ours during the winter.
No, I mean,
that crazy.
the answer
blast
to your
we got.
question is yes. I mean, you can build it. There's a lot of things that you could do to help with extreme winters that would be very easy to add onto this build the way that we build. Number one, you could add that deck overhead. You could and put the roof on there. You could also add some insulation up above. You could wrap the exterior on with continuous insulation. That's a big thing that they're going to be pushing and doing up north. Continuous insulation. I was just with our good friends in Vegas with Rockwool, as well as up at the NFBA. They had some representatives up there with Michael Crane. And one of the things that we're looking to whenever it's requested, we're going to look at going to a continuous insulation on the exterior with the Comfort Board 80 is what it's called with Rockwool. And this comes available with 1 inch, 1.5 inch, I believe, 2 inch. You can get all your exterior insulation done surrounding on the outside of the home. Now, and then you would have to install. I did a little video on, I think, Instagram where we talked about that Comfort Board 80. So you guys take a look about that. But I like Rockwool. I think it's a great insulator. But the spray foam, as long as I've got the steel to deal with, I'm going to be using spray foam.
I really liked the thing that they had at their booth.
Yeah, so we
It
were
was like a tunnel.
in Vegas. They had a sound tunnel.
Well, you did a video with it.
Yeah, that we went through. If I had it right here, I could play it.
Oh man,
Just weren't ready.
sorry.
But we have that on. I believe I put it on the channel, on the Instagram channel, and we may be adding that video to YouTube as well.
Yeah, you walk in and you hear the
And
loud
TikTok.
roar of everyone, and as soon as you round the corner, it's all muted. It's like having noise canceling AirPods in your ears.
Not sure what's going on.
You gotta get it in the hole there, the puzzle piece.
Oh,
Quit.
sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah, you just kept,
My live was about to get canceled on TikTok.
I thought you're
Cancel culture trying to
robot or
knock me
something.
off. So that's my answer on the foam insulation. Okay,
All right.
what is the typical build in Texas? Have you ever considered working out of state for a sizable job? Do we only build in Texas?
Well, yes. The unfortunate part about trying to build elsewhere is we don't have our guys there, our crew there. They're all busy here, and to try to get them all up there for the duration of a whole build, that would just be a lot. We'd have to try to find different people to work with, closer to the job, and then you're experimenting with somebody's project. You wouldn't want to do that.
Right. So, let's see. What's another question? Is there a way to build one on a foundation and not a slab if one wanted a basement?
We are doing a basement.
I mean, for what we're doing, that's still a foundation, though. Like if you're pouring a basement.
Yeah, it's still concrete.
So but what you're talking about is kind of like it becomes a second story in that sense. But it does take a little more coordination as well as collaboration with engineers to do that. So that's another good question here. Do you build in East Tennessee? You want to look that up?
No, we have a 60-mile turnkey radius from Red Oak, Texas. We are 20 miles south of Dallas, and we have an up to a 100-mile shell option. Those numbers are a little flexible because we still have ongoing projects that are in some of those further regions. So if we've got something that's kind of close to one of those existing projects, we could still maybe accommodate a little further distance on the shell potentially.
Right.
But we have, again, for anybody that maybe missed it on our on our link tree, on our website, we have a couple of resources for you guys that are out of our area. You can go on there and download the PDF. It's a free PDF that you can use when you're it's pre-planning strategies. So if you're just thinking about it, if you're just kind of kicking the tires on whether or not you want a barndominium, this will kind of tell you where to start on getting your plans and getting your lending and all those things lined up so that you can start working on the process. So that's free PDF on our website on the link tree. Then we have on there a Barndo cost calculator. Any of you guys that are like, hey, I really just want to know what this would cost. If you had a plan in mind, you could go in, enter the information on that cost calculator, like square footage of living, square footage of shops, how big are the porches, all that information, and it's going to instantly send you a quote. You're not going to have to wait on anybody to get back with you. Try it out 15 times. Say you had, you've been looking online and you found 3 different floor plans that you'd be interested in knowing, price differences are on those different options, and you could enter all 3 of them, get 3 quotes. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. It's quick, and it may help you rule out one or the other, and make you help your decision and figuring out which one you want to do.
Okay, what happened here? Peyton says, what does the typical warranty look like? So we just have a standard, like a 1-2-10, I think is what's called, basically where you have a 1 year on structural warranty, covers workmanship defects for 1 year, or the structural warranty covers 1 year for workmanship defects. The distribution systems are for 2 years, and then you got structural defects up to 10 years. Sorry, I said that wrong. So you got the 1 year on workmanship, which is standard. You got your 2 year on your systems, and then you got 10 years for main structural. So hopefully that helps answer your question. That's a standard home builder's warranty is what that is.
So I've got somebody asking on Instagram about San Antonio and Austin. We are not building in those areas currently. Those are 3-4 hours away from us, so we wouldn't be able to help out there, unfortunately. As far as time frame, we have anywhere from 6 to 8, give or take, weeks on.
Do we build in Sulphur Springs?
I'll have to look. Somebody was asking how far we out on our builds. Do you want to answer that real quick?
How far are we out? I mean, we're still giving people the same lead time. Basically, before we get started, it takes some time, but I believe it's 3 to 4 months wait time before we start a project.
We're going to have to submit from
the time that it's funded.
Right. But there's things that'll be happening in that 3 to 4 months. So we're going to be getting a soil sample, doing the dirt work and all those kind of things, getting the engineered foundation plans. All that takes time too. So all that's happening.
Jerry says, howdy, boss lady, and Josh.
Who said that?
Jerry.
Well, hello, Jerry.
Dan says, I would love to see a simple barndo, 1 bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, living room, small shop set up for a retirement couple. I don't know about small shop because usually when they're small, they end up with bigger shops. But you can check out the Grayford Barndominium that we built. That's an 800 square foot living quarters with a pretty good sized shop. So,
and then the Hilltop.
Don't get much smaller than that. Hilltop was supposed to be a 900 square foot living, ended up being 1,600, but there's an 1,800 square foot shop.
Just as big.
And I went back and added an equipment building with a shop and a hay barn.
Yeah.
So.
Got to just keep adding. I was trying to find Sulphur Springs. My internet's not working. Hang on, let me try something.
I believe Sulphur Springs is kind of in our radius, honestly. So appreciate you. You can check yourself if you want to type in Red Oak, Texas. And that'll let you know if you're within 100 miles. And if it's right on the borders, like I said, we're not going to drive 100 miles and just stop. We'll work with you a little bit.
It might be a little too far. It looks like 2.5 hours.
Jerry said he came by one day and gave us caps, Rooster's barbecue caps.
Oh, I
Okay.
remember.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, Sulphur Springs is almost 150 miles, so I think that's going to be a little too far.
Jerry says 99 miles.
To where?
I think you're.
I was looking at Sulphur Springs for somebody else.
I don't know. Anyways,
Okay.
God bless you, Michael. Thank you, sir. Hard nickel. How are we doing? I think we're caught up. Somebody asking any more questions over there? San Antonio, Austin. I'm sorry we're not going there.
Yeah, wait.
Appreciate you guys joining in. We normally do these lives sometimes a little bit shorter, sometimes a little bit longer, but so just to review, we'll say these one more time. These are the 7 things. I know we took a lot of pauses in between, but that's the way I talk anyways. I pause. I'm the slowest talker on YouTube.
I try to help him along, but
the reason why you want to be slow talking on YouTube is because you get paid monetization for longer talking. I'm just kidding. No, it's just.
Then what's your excuse when you're not on?
I don't know.
YouTube?
I don't know. I think you just got to take a little more time. Enjoy your life. Make sure you say the right thing. Don't be quick. Be slow to speak, quick to hear. That's the game. That's the game.
Okay.
Okay. Little Bible philosophy for you guys. Maybe it's slow to anger. Can't remember.
You're telling on yourself.
Okay. DIY. The number one reasons why Barndominiums are cost effective. Number one, drum roll, DIY potential for shell only options. It's a great way for you to save a little bit of money if you have any skills or you have family members that are willing to do all the work for you. This is what it's about, DIY potential for shell only options. We do shell onlys up to 100 miles from Red Oak, Texas. Number two, the unique style Barndominiums can give you. Potentially, they have a higher resale value due to their curb appeal as well as functionality. So a lot of people want the Barndominium. It's a trend.
Limited edition.
It's an exclusive club that you can be a part of when you have a Barndominium.
Yeah, and then you can buy all of our merch. That's
right.
related.
That's right. You can buy all the Barndo gear. What a Barndo.
Does this shirt make my Barndo look big or something?
Yeah, that's right. And there's more to come. Number three, multifunctional use. Barndominiums can be designed to incorporate living space with workshops, garages, or storage areas, eliminating the need for separate structures. So I think this is a good one when it comes to accessibility for toys, mechanic work, art studios,
Craft room.
craft rooms, when it comes to entertainment, wedding venues. There's so many things, y'all, that you can do with a Barndominium setup. So that's a good point. Number three, why it's cost effective, because of the multi-purpose use that you can't do in a conventional frame home. Number four, flexible design. The open floor plans of Barndominiums can be designed efficiently, minimizing waste space and potentially reducing overall building materials that may be needed. So this means that you can pretty much do a layout any way you want on the inside of one of these, say, 40 by 60 structures or 100-foot structures. You could do your layout any way because the roof is supported independently from the interior walls. Gives you a lot of flexibility. There's a good shot of it in the background right there. See that? So number five is less expensive materials. We talked about metal siding, how that can be beneficial, helps save a little bit of money, taking some of that money that you save and put it in on your efficiencies when it comes to better quality insulation, but when it comes to wall thickness, all these kind of things. That's a big one. Number 6 is, I'm having to count backwards, is durability. And the durability is also clumped in there with maintenance, meaning low maintenance. So the steel materials used is typically resistant to weather, pests, wear and tear, leading to lower maintenance costs over time. That's a big deal for your durability when it comes to not having to change out siding in a few years, or not having
And
to
repaint.
your house or your posts and things like that.
Rotten wood.
All of it.
Yeah.
So, and lastly is the energy efficiency. The metal structure and open design of a barndominium can lend to a energy efficiency, insulation, and building practices, potentially resulting in lower heating and cooling bills, which is one of my absolute favorites things when it comes to the barndominium. We're achieving greater scores, greater efficiencies than traditional homes. It wins every time, not only in the popularity contest, but in the beauty contest, as well as the functionality.
Smart.
It's smart. You can do so many things with it. The barndominium is the winner. Ding, ding, ding. Somebody says their worry is paint fading on the metal. Well, don't be worried about it. I say, worry is not a good thing. You don't want to worry about that. Also, you could overlay the panels if you wanted to. It's a lot more expensive. You could probably do that for as much money as it costs you to paint it. I'm just telling you. So keep that in mind. Fading panels is not what I worry about. Our lead time, thank you for asking, is it could take several months, 3 to 4 months before we could start a project from the time that it's funded. Now there's work that goes on in between where you're getting all your
Engineered foundation
selections, all these
soil
kind
survey.
of things.
You got a bunch over here.
Got them popping up. Somebody says, number one is tax assessors don't get to own you annually with insanely inflated assessments.
Yeah, they don't know what you got on the inside.
There you go. You guys tell us what the benefits are. Come on. Bring them on.
Yeah, we actually had somebody wanted to come look in ours once.
Dan, we do not do, Dan asked a question, can you discuss how to do a great concrete floor, insulation under it, and the finish? We do not do insulation under our concrete floors. So what we do is we have a lot of concrete. It goes like 30 inches down around the perimeters of our builds. Sometimes more than that. Sometimes as deep as 42 inches. Then we have grade beams that go on like a waffle pattern, and they're all just as deep. So we do have this membrane that goes there, but we don't have insulation. I'm not necessarily against it, but we don't have it under our foundation because it's a lot of concrete under there. So it's a little bit different in the north than it is here. We don't have as cold a climate either, except for sometimes we have a 15-degree day.
Those are few and far between.
Have you guys sent up a package in Canada? No, Rick, we have not. We don't even work outside of Texas right now. We are just here to promote ideas, to talk advantages and best practices when it comes to building a barndominium. Our hybrid style is unique, the way that we build in Texas, the way that Texas Best builds in Texas. There's certainly other people that are doing it differently than us. We just feel like we're doing it better and best sometimes.
Somebody's asking on TikTok, can you do a gambrel roof? We actually have. We've actually got a gambrel style barndominium on our YouTube page.
We've got a gambrel barndominium on our YouTube page, and we have a huge gambrel barn I was just looking at today that we're building.
So cool.
It is really, really nice. You're going to love the next update we do for Black Gold Barndominium. I mean, it's a huge barn. It's probably one of my favorite barns that I've ever built.
Yeah, it's cool. It kind of looks like
or that
Yellowstone or something.
Our team has built. I didn't drive one screw or do anything myself, but it's our team that does such a beautiful, great job out there getting these structures going. Mark says looking to build a barn in Hillsboro. Mark, That's awesome. We
Absolutely.
are already building out that way in the Whitney area, and we drive through Hillsborough to go there all the time. So
We've done a couple in Hillsborough.
we've got some other builds there. Go to our Barndominium calculator at the link in our bio, linktree.com/Texas Best Construction.
Yeah, you can get some ideas on pricing for sure
You
if you
can
want to
get-
do the
You
shell
can, you
or
can get your planning all together. We've got a plan on there that you can develop a strategy for building a barndominium. Even if you're not building with us, you can gain knowledge and insight of what it takes, at least from our standpoint. Will you go outside 100 miles? We're in Mount Vernon. Michael says.
how much for
How many miles past 100 miles? That's the question.
how far are we talking?
Do y'all have plans? That starting to ship to Lubbock area. I feel like Lubbock is out of our range, but
Yeah, it
I would
is.
have to check on that. But I don't have any plans to go there right now.
Mount Vernon.
We're in Red Oak, Texas. Thanks, Clint, for asking. And we're just down to our question period. So for you guys that missed some of our topics that we were talking about on this live, this video will replay. So we'll have this reposted. We appreciate all you guys being on. We got a great crowd on tonight.
Lots of questions.
YouTube, Instagram, as well as TikTok. It's been a really good bunch. So this has been awesome. I want you guys to really think, is there any questions that you have?
Still trying
Somebody
to find
says, isn't a slab more expensive than a simple foundation? Concrete is expensive. You're right. Concrete's really expensive. But what we do as a builder in Texas, we get every foundation engineered with a foundation engineer. So we don't determine how thick the slab's going to be. So certainly, yeah, it's a thinner slab is cheaper. But I don't make that decision. I let the engineer decide how thick that's going to be. And they look at the plans based on what's going to be sitting on it. They know where the columns are going to go. They know where our uprights are going. They know where we're going to have fireplaces. All this gets structured as part of the engineer package.
They know what kind of soil you have.
We get a soil test. That all gets submitted to the engineer as well so that they can design a favorable foundation for the home. Because it's a home. This is not a barn. This is not just a place that you park under. This is a home. And it's all attached together. So all the system of the foundation needs to be one.
Somebody's asking, why does it appear concrete paved driveways are not common with your builds? We're building in rural areas. We're building on 5 acres and 1 acre and
We've built
200 acres.
We've built like 2,000-foot roads. So the amount of money it would take to put concrete is crazy. And it's the easiest thing to put down. We put a base down, and it's in the county.
Yeah, and if the customer wants it, we can definitely give them a price for that. It just doesn't come with as a standard.
It is cheaper to do flat work when it comes to driveway a little bit cheaper to do that than it is to pour a foundation, obviously.
They're asking if we use rebar or metal fiber mesh.
A good wind rating of expectation when it comes to these structures is going to be over 100 miles an hour. So we don't have official wind ratings, but that's going to be, when it comes to metal buildings, they typically 110 plus. Craftsmanship warranty. We talked about warranty a little bit ago. We got a 1-2-10, basically a standard homeowner's warranty when it comes to new construction. 1 year for workmanship, 2 years for mechanicals, and 10 years for structural.
And they're asking about our foundations. We usually do a post tension on our foundations. Do you see that one at the top?
Couldn't hear you. What?
They're asking if we use rebar or metal fiber mesh in our concrete.
Well, we use some rebar, very minimal rebar, but we use a post-tension system. It's a cabling system where it gets stranded across, and then it's a compression. So the cables get tightened to hold, let me put my hands, to get
Backwards.
compression like this on each side. That's what goes on with that. The post-tension, look it up. Post-tension it's kind of like a magic carpet ride. You're holding it all together and floating over top of the water tables, and yeah, it's like a big ship floating in the sea. I'm just kidding. No.
Clint, we don't usually do heated floors, concrete floors in Texas. Usually we want them to be cool because it's
really hot in
too
Texas.
hot.
But yeah,
They can be done, yes.
it can be
don't
done.
usually.
We don't typically have heated floors here. I think it'd be pretty pricey too in Texas.
They're calling you Uncle Jesse's.
Who said that?
Dukes of Hazzard.
Who's saying it?
Blemish Natty on YouTube.
Uncle Jesse's younger clone from Dukes of Hazzard. What's your opinion on ICF construction compared to metal building? Barndos. Thank you for that wonderful comment.
He's been told that before.
Hey, I sing the song Just a Good Old Boy all the time, so, that's fine. I'll be Uncle Jesse if I could have his money. Anyways.
He didn't have any money, did he?
Well, he didn't look like it. I think he did. What's your opinion on ICF construction? I love ICF. It's an insulated concrete forms, basically, where you have insulation on each side, and you create this insulation barrier on the inside as well as the outside. I think it's a really neat way to do it, and I'm not against it. I'm not opposed to it. It's not our standard. It's definitely going to be more money to build a concrete wall than it would be to build a wood stud wall. So I like ICF. I'm a systems guy. I like all kinds of different systems. And if somebody wanted me to build them an ICF structure, I'd build it.
Figure it out.
We participated on a car wash down the street. It wasn't ICF. It was a different type of concrete walls there, but we did do all of the trusses on there. Were like 50-foot trusses that we had to put that were on 2-foot spacing. We had a crane and everything there to put those up. It was a lot of fun. Do you use double layered rebar? If I was just doing rebar, then yeah, you're gonna look at your spacing and all that kind of stuff. Now we did do a lot of rebar, but it was all engineered on the black gold Barndominium because it didn't allow for the post tension, so we did all rebar on the barn and the house. So that was a little different. Okay, thank you. For that.
Ashley, we did.
What is the
Ashley
question?
on YouTube? It says, "What are the best areas to try to save on your budget?" We actually did a couple of lives. We did something. They're actually like upgrades, but if you chose not to do that, if you want to keep it with the standard, we talked about on our lives a couple of weeks ago, the interior and the exterior, things that we include in our pricing versus the things that would be additional. So if you wanted to save money, you could, avoid some of those additional areas and stay with the standard, which we feel is still a very nice quality build. So staying within your range on your granite and things like that, you could definitely stay in budget. It's just hard to stay in budget whenever you have so many options. It's real easy to get out of budget real quick. So
Michael said he messages on Facebook. Okay, thank you. Also, you can email the office. You can check the website, texasbestbarndominium.com. And you can certainly call the office during business hours. It's on
Facebook, it's kind of an auto answer depending on what you're asking. So a lot of times
Instagram too, it gets auto answers all the time.
Auto replied. So
Lungsford says, Josh, thoughts on actual decking the roof and going with standing seam? I'm not against it. I feel like that the exposed fastener roofs give me more shear strength. So I know it's kind of a debatable thing, but currently, if I was to be doing that, I feel like I'm losing something a little bit. Now, I know I like the idea of concealing the fasteners and stuff, but that's just my immediate thoughts about it. When we started looking at it, the standing seam, a lot of them, the standing seam has a expansion, so you're really only fastening down. You got your clips that hold it into place, but it allows it to move. So you can't do it without adding the decking. You got to have the decking, which obviously adds cost, but you're fastening standing seam at the bottom and at the top, but everywhere else it needs to be able to flex. So it's just there to look pretty more so as opposed to having as much giving you any shear strength. So now if you got the decking up there, I guess you consider that is your shear strength. Let's see, what else did I miss? We got comments like on 3 different screens here, so I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any reason why a Tesla roof wouldn't work on a Barndominium or solar shingles. Clint, there's not any reason why it wouldn't. Actually, I did a video talking about the new span panels that are available on our YouTube channel if you want to check that out. That is a great way to kind of do some energy management to prepare for the Tesla. One thing you would have to do is probably decrease your spacing size for the way that we build the metal purlins so that you can put your deck up there. You're probably going to want to have that. Or if you didn't want to have that, you just have it for the added support. I've seen people do that where they do it for the extra support that they need for the heavy weight of the solar panels. So that's one thing you could do is 2-foot spacing instead of 4-foot spacing. Hopefully that answers your question. Rick asked, curious on windows used. We use a double pane windows is typically what we're using. And a lot of them are standard, just low E. But we do have a lot of clients that want to upgrade their windows and go with bigger and better.
Or different color.
That's right. To the cost as well. Thank you. Dan says he loves the channel and thanks for the time. Absolutely. That's what we're here for. And look, we're back here. We're trying to be back here every Tuesday. That's what's going on. So you guys will be able to talk to us accessibility wise. We're here and we want to hear your questions. We want to know what kind of questions people have. We are trying to post a lot more. So you're going to be seeing our shorts. You're going to see, not the shorts we wear, but you're going to be seeing my pants for sure. You're going to see the short videos, the long videos. We're going to have update videos. You're going to have Q&A videos. All these kind of things are going to be coming out. Occasionally, when we go to these conferences, we will be showing you vendors that are offering stuff. And we had a good time out in Vegas, as well as we didn't have any time to play, so it's not what you guys think.
No.
Well, I guess we did in the evening time. We went out and we went to, what are some of the things we did at Vegas?
We did the Sphere.
We went to the Sphere.
We
That
did
was Sphere. I look
We
funny
did-
when I say
We
that.
went to the Top of the World and ate dinner
Top of the world.
and Hell's Kitchen.
That's right. That was really good.
What else?
I think I had dessert there.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I probably had dessert everywhere I ate there.
It was crazy though because it was 2 hours later, so we couldn't even get in until 9:30, which was like 11:30 to us our time, and it was just like it is so late, and I'm so tired of walking. We walked 7 miles a day, I think.
Somebody says, can you roof with traditional shingles due to the high cost of metal roofs and contraction problems with fasteners? Well, yeah, you can. You can do shingles if you want to.
You just have to do the roof system differently.
You do get a discount on your roof with your insurance company if it's metal. I will say that.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in
Why are
mind.
there no builders in California? That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know why there's Thank you, Rick. Well, hope to meet you one day. I met a lot of folks from Canada when we were in Vegas. So I like a lot of the products that they brought as well. I thought there was a lot of great products. People from Canada. What's the smallest shop size you recommend?
Well, at least a 2-car garage is going to be, 900 square foot?
20 by 20? That's about as small as you could probably.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to have a shop at all. I mean, we have a lot of them that want to do one later, want to save the money and like build it later.
Isn't that crazy? Like, we're going to build a Barndominium, but no shop. I mean, that is what happens, though.
But, I mean,
You got to have a place to live first.
the wife wins and she needs a place for her kids to sleep. So
Yeah.
the shop gets put on the back burner sometimes on the budget. But, I mean, that's the cool thing is you can add a shop on later or add a detached one.
What counties do we build in with VA lenders? I mean, we've got one of our
Local lenders.
local lenders that will go anywhere we'll go. So I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah.
Up
but
to 100 miles.
So the VA is a little more difficult to work with. You have to get, which we are registered with them. We can build for them, but I don't think they're very easy to work with on the construction loan side of things or the interim construction.
I would just recommend
process.
you start working on it early.
Yeah. And I mean, what we did in the instances that we did a VA loan is we did the build with a bank and the bank
We've
lended
only done it a few times.
like 3 times.
Yeah.
But they lended, the bank lended was kind of the middleman. They lended for the whole duration of the project. And then at the end, the VA bought out that loan. So we were not, having to deal with it too much. It was more on the tail end, a lot of paperwork.
Absolutely.
But it's doable for sure. We've done it 3 times.
Okay.
Anybody else? Let's see.
Probably missed a bunch down here. Probably missed a bunch up here too. Well, I think it's been good. This has been a good live. So we've enjoyed. I mean, honestly, I was dog tired getting home. So it's always good to hang out with you guys, and I appreciate all the likes, the hearts. If you guys could do that, go ahead and like this video. Please hit the heart button, hit the share button, hit the comment button, hit all the buttons, because we want to help promote this information out there for the next guy.
And it'll ring a bell and let you know that we're going to do another live next week.
Yeah, if you ring the bell, you'll be able to find us next time. So if you'll go ahead and give us some likes, we still got, let's see, sorry, put that in front of your face. Can't see.
What are you trying to do?
I was trying to see. It usually tells me who's where. It is what it is.
Well, yeah.
I think most everybody that's here is with most of our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So we're about to sign off. I'm Josh Helm.
I'm Brittany Helm.
We're wishing you all the best. Thanks for watching. Texas Best.